Hello guys, how are you guys? Can you guys hear me loud and clearly? If you can hear me okay, please type 1 in the chat room. I hope you guys are alright. Okay, cool. If you guys can see the training slides and can hear me okay, let me start today's training. So welcome to brand new 2021 LifeSmart Training Academy. I'm Scott from LifeSmart International Technical Support Team. So today we have two different sessions. The first is about the training, the overview of this training program. And the second, we will talk about the protocols and gateways of LifeSmart product. Okay, cool. So in the training, in the overview, we will have 3 different content. First, I will generally introduce the course arrangement, like how many courses are included. And the second, we will quickly introduce what is smart home and what kind of basic knowledge you need to know before we jump into the product section. And the third is a quick introduction for our companies, because most of you guys, I think you already know the basic information, the background information about our company, but some of you guys, I have checked the registration list. Some of you guys are new to LifeSmart, so I will quickly run through the company introduction for you guys. The sound is not that clear. Okay, I'll move close and. Okay, the first is about the course arrangement. So in this training program, we will have in total 11 courses from academic intro, protocols and gateway, and we will run through all the products LifeSmart have, and we will also, in the later part, we will also run through the software like LifeSmart app key features, and how do we design smart home solutions. Those typical smart home solutions, those typical smart home things. And the last, we will run through with you guys about the AI builders. So what's new? Because some of you guys have attended the training last year, you may wonder that what is new in this year's training. I think you should close your camera for bandwidth because your sound isn't clear. Okay. Let me check here. Okay, how about now? How about now? Is it clear now? So I'm moving close to my microphone now. Is it clear? Okay, cool. Let's continue. So what is new for this year's training is that we will use a universal training template, and we will send the slides to partners after each training course. And so that because some of our partners they also have distribution partners beneath them. So that's why we think we can send out all the materials to them so that they can use these materials to train their dealers. So we will send out the slide to you guys after the training course. And for this year's training, we will talk about more depth of knowledge than last year. And after each training, we will do a quick quiz after each training course. And if you pass the quiz, we will send you a training completion certificate after the training course. It may take 1 or 2 days to make. So if you finish the quiz and you have got that score, we will send out a certificate to you in your email address. And the next, I think everybody should know what is smart home. So I don't know whether you guys are familiar with smart home. So I think most of you guys have played with our solutions or played with the solutions in the market. And if you still don't, if you are still not sure about what is smart home, please Google or use YouTube to search what is smart home. There are several perfect videos to explain this. And to understand smart home, this is the basic concepts you need to know in advance. The first is IP. You need to IP what is IP and what is the IP technology. What does IP do? And also Wi-Fi, because most of our products are wireless protocol, a wireless product, and several of them are using Wi-Fi technology. And the third is the smart home gateway. Why do we need a smart home gateway in smart home solutions? And what does the smart home gateway do? And the fourth is the wireless protocols. CORS is from LifeSmart, and also Zigbee and Zigbee. I think Nikita mentioned about why don't we use Zigbee protocol in our sensors, which I will talk about later in the protocol and gateway session. And also the basic concept of triggers and things. What is a trigger and what is a thing? So after that, I will quickly run through the smart home, the company introduction. So basically, LifeSmart is a company that believe in the trend that homes are taking on more intelligent, and we are here to provide very smart things with confidence, together with our distributors. So we have been dedicated to improve the comprehensive strength and broadening our reach. By far, LifeSmart has served more than 1 million customers over 40 countries, creating values for their everyday life. And our vision is to make every single home become a smart home. And this is the history of LifeSmart. Our company is founded at 2013, so it's been nearly 8 years. And we've got the angel round of investment in 2014. And we've got another round of investment in 2015. And in 2016, we released our 4 solutions, smart home products. And we start to cooperate with Huawei, Alibaba, Sony, this kind of companies to work on smart home products. And in 2017, we get another round of investment, and in 2018, we start a partnership with top 3 communication carriers in China, and we have done the large-scale delivery to the largest intelligent community and other real estate projects. And we start some of the retail channels in Western countries, especially in Europe. And in 2019, we started to do business with Lexo and SoftBank in Japan. And our global business has been tripled. And let's watch a quick video about, okay, I think, let me check here. Let's watch a quick video about our company, I think. Let me check here. Here we go. Sorry about that.
LifeSmart provides you and your family with a safe, comfortable, and colorful home environment. Simply connect any of your existing electronic devices with the easy-to-set-up LifeSmart station and take control of your surroundings with the LifeSmart app. Every electric device is now available at your fingertips, bringing you peace of mind and a comfortable lifestyle. LifeSmart open, close, and motion sensors are ideal for home security. They can notify you if a door or window is accessed, or if something is moving in your home. LifeSmart will then send you an alert, wherever you are. Travel with the assurance that your room is secure with LifeSmart. LifeSmart is also your personal home assistant. Environmental sensors will detect changes in light, temperature, and humidity, and automatically activate appliances to improve your room's ambience. Distance is never an issue with LifeSmart, which features a range of over 5,000 feet square. From anywhere in your home, LifeSmart devices will need one station to run sensors, cameras, and outlets. Let LifeSmart help set the mood and fill your home with vibrant colors and vivid displays. The LifeSmart Magic LED strip features fully customizable light displays in a rainbow of colors. Alter the atmosphere of any room by setting the Magic LED strip to change brightness based on the time of day and have the perfect lighting wherever you need it. Every aspect of the LifeSmart system is easy to install and intuitive to use. You don't need to have complex technical knowledge. All you need is a smartphone, an internet connection, and the LifeSmart app to enjoy the convenience of an intelligent home. LifeSmart, the home of the future, available today.
Okay, I think after this video, you will get the basic knowledge about how our product works. And the next page is the ecosystems of the whole LifeSmart solutions. So I think if you just start with LifeSmart, it might be a little bit overwhelming for you at the moment. But I think what I would like to talk about in this slides here is that we are a full solution provider. So as you can tell, we have our self-innovative software on the top left corner, and in the bottom we have our self-innovative hardware. And on the right-hand side, this is all our technology partners, including Apple, Google, Amazon. And we have been integrated with Sonos, Hikvision, Aquavox, Philips Hue, and Dahua. And our smart station is compatible with Zigbee and Z-Wave devices. And also we have our complete product lineup like this, from sensors, switches, universal remote controller, panels, this kind of stuff. So today we will focus on the protocols and gateways. So let's cut to the chase. LifeSmart protocols and gateways. So in this course, you will learn what is a COS protocol, and why COS protocol, and why gateway, why LifeSmart gateway, and the basic gateway installation and setup. And in the last session, we will have a Q&A session, and also we will provide a quiz to you guys. So before you get to know COS, please check this chart here. So in the middle, this is basically the smart home structure. The network structure is like. So all the devices, lighting, security systems, home control, those systems using wireless technology to connect to smart station. And the smart station connects to the internet cloud. So the smart station needs to be plugged into a router to get internet. And the iPhone or Android phones talking to the cloud service to control the devices in a home. So this is the technology. This is the technology we are using at the moment. This is a structure, technology structure. And this is a more detailed structures. So as you can see here, router here, and the smart station is here. So the smart station is using an Ethernet cable connect to the router, and it is using COS, those red dotted wires, to control all these devices and to get all information back from the devices. And some of our devices, they support Wi-Fi. So you can see the black dotted wire here that like Nature Mini or some of the cameras using Wi-Fi to talk to the router directly, because it needs to use Wi-Fi to transmit those video informations. And also those control signals can go to smart stations. So smart station can also control them in the meantime. And on the top, you can see mobile app, control panel, smart speakers, third-party software. They are using internet to connect to our smart stations to do interactions. So those Alexa and Google Assistant you see, they use the smart speakers. The user use connects to the internet and talk to the smart station to control the whole system. And what is COS protocol? Okay, let me quickly check the chat room. Can you activate sub? Sorry, I cannot activate sub here because the option is grayed out, so I don't know why, but I cannot enable it at the moment. And about the coverage, please be patient and focus on my presentation. I will talk about the coverage for each of our smart stations later in the later slide. So the coverage in the video we just saw is the ideal distance in the lab environment. I will talk about the real coverage in real application in the later slides. So what is COS protocol? Putting into a simple way, COS, C-O-S-S, which stands for Communication of Smart Star, is developed and owned by LifeSmart R&D team, and it is a streamlined and optimized two-way protocol dedicated for IoT control and management. So as you can see here, the white circle is device and the green circle is smart stations. They use point-to-point connections. So each of the device talks to the smart station directly. So it is a star architecture. And next, why COS protocol? So what's good about the COS protocol? So we have summed up. There are 4 key features for COS protocol. The first is low power consumption. So it can support some of the device. They use a battery to power up, and based on cost, we are able to deliver the smart switch product, which support 5 years battery life with ER18505 battery. And it also has a long transmission distance, which is up to 800 meters. COS can achieve ultra-long distance signal transmission of 800 meters from LifeSmart station to other home devices. The second feature is the long transmission distance. And the third is quick response. 100 milliseconds, the signal delay could be less than 100 milliseconds. And also, the last but not the least is high security, AES 108. We adopt this bank-level encryption to protect the data between the smart station and the devices. So 4 key features: low power consumption, long transmission distance, quick response, and high security. And this is the comparison chart between CORS and Zigbee and Wi-Fi and the traditional RF and also Z-Wave protocols. So here I will explain a little bit in a little bit in detail about what's the advantage of our CORS over those protocols. So I think the first is about the distance. Is a distance, so it can transmit up to 200 and to 800 meters. So for ideal environment, so for Zigbee it is only 30 to 100 meters, but you can cascade devices. So they use a mesh network to connect all the devices. So a mesh sometimes is good for customers when they set up the devices. It is automatic mesh. But because the devices connect with each other, so if one of the device failed, it will disturb, it will break all the network, it will break the mesh network. So sometimes it is very hard to troubleshoot which device is the break point. And the next is the power consumption. So we can offer extreme low power consumptions by CORS protocol. So say for instance, we have a switch called Starry switch, which is a no neutral wire solutions switch solutions. It has a battery inside. It can power the switch for at least 5 years. So there's no Zigbee or Wi-Fi or Z-Wave devices can achieve that, because this is all because of our CORS protocol is using extreme low power consumptions. And also for others, basically they are basically similar, and the config difficulty is extremely slow. You just need to select the product you would like to pair and find the product in the app and click it, and click start pair and click the pair button on the device. It will pair within seconds. So what is the frequency used for CORS? CORS is using 433 megahertz. So basically it is using the same frequency with traditional RF, but for traditional RF, it is one-way protocol. It is one-way protocol. So traditional RF, if you are using traditional RF, like a RF remote control, when you control the curtain to open, it will open. But the controller, the remote controller, doesn't know whether the curtain is opened. So that's another feature, another benefit of our CORS protocol. It is a two-way protocol. So it can send the information, send the control signal to the device, but at the meantime, it can also know whether the command is sending to that device successfully. So when we are running things in the smart station, it will check whether the device has been controlled successfully. If the signal loses, it will send the command again until it controls the device correctly. So it is using 433 megahertz as a frequency, but it is a two-way protocol. So let me roll back. So why do we need a smart station? Why do we need a smart station for smart home solutions? Because I just checked the registration list. There are some of our partners asking why smart station is required. Why smart station is required in smart home solutions? The reason that is that the smart station is also like a router to control all the devices underneath it. So all the devices using a separate network to connect to smart stations. Once the router is done, once the internet access is done, the smart station can also work to control those devices. So why gateway? It provides a separate and stable network for devices. And also it can execute command locally, so the control is more responsive. And also, as I mentioned, it supports offline mode. What is offline mode? So once, like I mentioned, if the internet is down, it can also control the devices from local network. So this is its offline mode. And why LifeSmart Gateway? Why LifeSmart Gateway? So we are using COS, a dedicated smart home IoT protocol. And second, it is compatible with Zigbee and Z-Wave. And also, it works with Apple HomeKit. And also, it offers SIM card slot. It has a built-in battery backup and 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G optional. For this one here, SIM card slot, built-in battery, and a SIM card support. This is our incoming new product, which is called the Fed Alarm Hub. It will be released around Q2 this year. And also it supports AI Builder, which is a programmer, SIM programmer for users. And because I think Nikita mentioned that why do we use proprietary protocol instead of Zigbee? So this is the benefit over Zigbee protocol. But in the meantime, because our founders, our CEO and CTO, they are actually from huge communication companies in China. They are the core R&D guy. They were the core R&D staff in that communication company. So they know very much about the communication protocol. So they tested with Zigbee. Zigbee is okay, but sometimes they found the weakness of Zigbee. And because Zigbee, they are alliance, they cannot modify the weakness of the protocol by themselves. That's why they decided to develop their own protocol, which is COS, Communication of Smart Star. So you can see the benefit over the Zigbee here. That's why we use our COS protocol, because we can adjust our protocol by ourselves. So we can know what is not good, and we can keep improve on that one. So this is why a background story about why we're using COS protocol instead of Zigbee protocol. So let's continue. Why LifeSmart Gateway? So this is a very useful information, I think, for you guys at the moment. This is a comparison chart for all our smart stations. So the first one here, this is the most common one, the square box smart station. I think our partners are mainly selling these smart stations in their solutions. So because it has a coverage for 200 square meters, so this is the test result in real applications. It is covering around 200 square meters. But because the reason that you may find we tell different coverage is that for different rooms, for different houses, and for different apartments, they have different layout, and they have different walls, and they have different kind of material of the walls. So that's why we cannot say very confirmly about our coverage. But in real application, it's around 200 square meters for multiple rooms. And the capacity is around 500 devices. So actually, you can add up to 500 devices to smart stations. And for protocols, we have two versions at the moment. The first version is COS and Zigbee, and the second version is COS and Z-Wave. So if you would like to order one with the Zigbee compatibility or Z-Wave compatibility, please inquire with your sales manager. Tell them what kind of version you need to order from LifeSmart. And the compatibility is all LifeSmart devices, and also Zigbee and Z-Wave device, certainly. And the second is the Smart Station Mini. So it is a smart station plugged directly into the wall, and also it also has indoor sirens. For this one, because it only has a version that is China plug, so we're mainly selling this in domestic China market. So this one can cover up to 50 square meters, and it is the typical application for this Smart Station Mini is single room or studios without so many walls. And the capacity of this device is 24 devices, and it only supports COS protocol, our own proprietary protocol. And it is compatible with all LifeSmart devices. And the third one is a defect alarm hub we are going to release this year. So basically, it has more coverage because we're using a stronger antenna for the smart station. So it has 400 square meters coverage, and it can cover multiple rooms. And the capacity is basically the same, 500 devices. And the protocols it is compatible with is COS, Zigbee, 2G SIM card, and the Z-Wave is optional. So if you would like to order a Z-Wave compatible device for defect alarm hub, you can also check with our sales managers. So it is compatible with all LifeSmart devices and the Zigbee and the Z-Wave devices. And the fourth one is Nature Mini. This is the product we released last year. So Nature Mini is actually a switch and also a touch screen. And in the meantime, it is also a gateway. So the gateway performance for Nature Mini is similar to Smart Station Mini. So the coverage for Nature Mini is 50 square meters. And the typical application for Nature Mini is single room and those studios. So if you have a very large apartment, a house, we don't recommend to use Nature Mini to do all coverage, because it is a panel that is built that needs to be installed in the wall. So we don't recommend to cover two big areas. But if it is a single room or if it is a apartment like a studio, you can use Nature Mini as a gateway. And the capacity is 24 devices, and it is using COS protocol and compatible with literally all LifeSmart devices. And also in last year, we released a Nature called Nature 7. It is a 7-inch panel, touch panel, with 4 physical buttons. And it can cover up to 50 square meters. And a typical use case is also single room and studio. Basically, the smart station performance is similar with a Nature Mini. Capacity is also the same, 24 devices, and it is compatible with COS and Zigbee. So the compatibility, it is all LifeSmart devices and Zigbee devices. So this is a very useful information. So if you are wondering what kind of smart station you would like to use in the smart home solution for your customers, you can check this chart to select the best solutions. But from our experience, if it is a studio or a small apartment, which is around 50 square meters, you can use Nature Mini. But if it is a proper house or proper villa or a large apartment, you need to use Smart Station, because Smart Station is a dedicated gateway for LifeSmart smart home solutions. So Smart Station is always a stable choice to do a proper smart home solutions. Okay. I've seen questions about a list of Zigbee and Z-Wave devices that are supported by the hubs. Okay, so you can check this page now. This is the list. This is the compatible list for Zigbee and Z-Wave. But for Z-Wave, it is quite standard protocol, because the Z-Wave Alliance, they have very strict regulations of the compatibility. So for Z-Wave, if your device is on the list, you can pair it with our Smart Station. But for Zigbee, it is kind of in gray area, because Zigbee, although Zigbee is a standard protocol, some of the manufacturers, or I would say most of the Zigbee manufacturers, they will develop their own protocol, their private protocol on top of the standard protocol. That's what makes the compatibility a little bit complicated, because, say for instance, Xiaomi, they are Zigbee manufacturers, their own product using Zigbee protocol, but they have their own private protocol on top of the Zigbee. So that's why you may find some of the Zigbee devices compared to a LifeSmart Smart Station directly, but some others cannot. That's why. So for the list under here, it's only a reference. So for the compatibility, we really think you need to test the compatibility by yourself to make sure. And our R&D guys are happy to perfect the integration for different kind of Zigbee devices. Okay, let's take a pause here to check more questions from you guys. Mr. Serkan from Turkey asked, I wondered, are there battery in gateway? You mean 5 years? What is it? Sorry, I didn't explain this clearly. The battery I mentioned for the protocol is actually the battery for the switch. So because our storage switch is using battery built inside, it is also using COS protocol. So COS protocol make the battery life can be up to 5 years. That's what I meant. Why still using 2G SIM card here? Because for default alarm hub, this is a solution we designed for predominantly for European market. Some of the alarm hub in the market will require at least a 2G module built inside. So say for instance, if someone cut the network out, the alarm hub can still send messages to the owners to let them know there's something happening in their house. So that's why we're using a 2G SIM card. We're using a 2G module inside the default hub. For other requirements like 3G, 4G, and 5G, this is optional. We can, because we already have a module, a space built inside, so you can require to change the module if there's project requirement. Yes, 2G is GPRS. And we are compatible with Google Home and Amazon Alexa. And can Nature 7 be connected to the smart station as a sub-smart station? sub-smart station, you mean Cascade. If it is a smart station, it can be cascaded together. So the answer is yes. What is the Z-wave frequency in LifeSmart smart station? The frequency varies, so we have different modules for different regions. Because Z-wave, they require different modules for different regions. So say for instance, for Europe, I think it is 433. For America is another frequency. So we support all the frequencies in different regions. So if you would like to order a correct version of Z-wave smart station, please check with our sales manager. They will order the correct version for your region. Okay, let's continue. The smart station installations. So now we will talk about the setup and installation for smart stations. So let's check this chart at first. So smart station is using a power adapter to power it up, and also using a RJ45 cable to connect to the routers. So after smart station connects to the router and powered up, the network port will flash after 8 to 10 seconds. And after 15 seconds, the indicator will flash, means connecting to network until stay solid, connect successful. So very easy, just plug the power adapter and plug it into the router. And the deployment for every smart station, so as mentioned, it can cover 200 square meters. So you can deploy one smart station every 200 square meters. And we suggest to deploy one for every story if it is a villa, if it is a relatively large house. And the location for smart station, you need to put the smart station as near the center as possible in the site to give the best coverage. And you need to stay away with appliances like aircon, stereo systems, or other high power devices like refrigerators, this kind of stuff. And the distance between the smart station and the wall or metal should be bigger than 30 centimeters. Because I think there's a background knowledge here, because if you are using wireless devices hate metal. They hate metal because metal will absorb the wireless signals. No matter it is COS, no matter it is Zigbee or Z-Wave or even 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G. So if you put your cell phone into a metal case, it will completely block the wireless signal. You cannot make phone calls, you cannot get to internet. So for us, basically it's the same. We are using wireless technologies. So do not put our smart stations in any metal case or near those big high power appliances, because those kind of stuff will interference with our wireless signals. So the distance between smart station and electronic devices should be bigger than 50 centimeters. And it's suggested to put smart station on top of desk or cabinet. It's not suggested to put a smart station on the floor or in the ceiling, because if it is in the ceiling, sometimes we find that the ceiling, they have metal material, it will block a certain amount of signals. So you need, and I will talk in the later slides what you need to test after you finish the installations. So how to add smart stations? So if you have already connected the smart station to the router and powered up, what you need to do is download LifeSmart app from App Store or Google Play. And in the Add Device section, you can see there's a smart station here. Select the smart station in the middle. Select the corresponding one, whether it is a smart station or Nature Mini or other smart station or other gateways. And we recommend to use, there are two ways of adding these devices. We recommend to use search. So connect your cell phone to the same network with the smart station, with the router, and use search. It will search the local internet, a local network to find the smart station. And after you click the smart station, it will pop up in the front page of your app. And some of the customers will wonder why it is offline device after they add a device, because the smart station needs several minutes to get online. So you don't need to panic. Just wait a few seconds, or a few minutes. It will get online at the end. So that's why. That's because the smart station needs to connect to the cloud service to get online. So it will take several minutes to get online. Okay, let's quickly check what kind of questions we have in the chat room. On Zigbee compatibility, would it be possible to integrate with Tuya products? I think for third-party products, they are basically as I mentioned, they are basically similar to us, because they will have certain private protocol on top of the standard Zigbee protocol. So that's why we suggest to test and check. For the devices, Zigbee devices in the list, we think you can pair it into our smart station and see it in our app. But for other devices, it's not on the list. We need to talk case by case. And why it cannot be connected into modem? It depends. It really depends whether it can or cannot be connected to modem. Because if it is an older traditional modem, it may not have the DHCP functions. Because our smart stations require the router to have DHCP function to get an IP address from the router. So you cannot set a fixed IP address for smart station on the software, but you can do it on the router. So in real applications, most of the routers have the DHCP functions. That's why the smart station can get IP from the routers. So some routers, I think some because I think in the recent years, more and more carriers they added the router functions into their modem. So it is also a modem. It is a modem, and in the meantime, it is also a router. So for those kind of modem, our smart station can connect directly to them. But for those older modem, they don't have DHCP functions. You need to get a router to support DHCP so that our smart station can get an IP address from the network. So smart station cannot be installed inside a rack with other communication equipment like switch, router, servers inside a metal rack. We don't suggest to do so because it is a wireless product. I can see every wireless protocol will be interfered by those kind of devices and also the metal material. And if Z-Wave door lock is added, it can be full control. All functions will run. We have integrated with one smart door lock, Z-Wave smart door lock from Japan, and we can control to remotely lock and unlock the devices. So Ryan, I think you can try. You can try to test. I think you can pair it successfully with our smart stations, and you can remotely control it. But for other functions, I'm not sure what the kind of functions they offer from third-party companies. So let us talk about this case by case. You can check with our technical support to check the compatibility case by case. And the next is a very useful function called Cascade. Because I mentioned that in real cases, the smart station can cover around 200 square meters. But what if the house is more than 200 square meters? You can use these smart station cascade functions. So if the user have two smart stations and want to set things or AIs between devices in these two stations, then it needs to be cascade. These two stations. So there will be a master station and there will be sub-devices underneath the smart stations, like switch sensors compared to the smart stations, master stations. And another extension stations, it also has all kinds of sub-devices paired to it. So it will use a virtual link via network to talk to each other. So those two smart stations will become one smart station, and you can control them from the app at the same time. So this smart station cascade functions will enable two separate systems become one. And because it is not a default function in app, to enable this function, please contact and inquiry LifeSmart staff in advance to test these functions. So to use cascade management, you will need to put those two smart stations in the same network so that they can talk with each other. So to use these functions, you need to make them in the same network, in the same IP segment. And the next is the relay management. This is another very useful function to cover more devices, to give more wireless coverage. So this function is used when some devices are very far away and the wireless signal from smart station cannot reach that distance. Then we can make one device in the middle as a bridge and connect the far away devices to the stations. So basically, like I mentioned, the smart station can cover 200 square meters, and in real application and in real cases, we find that in some of the corners, the wireless signal cannot cover for certain areas or for certain corners. So there will be a blind spot for wireless coverage. So to resolve that problem, what we offer is this relay management. So you can use a device in the middle, say for instance like a smart switch in between. You need to make sure the smart switch already has a relatively good signal, and use this smart switch to relay the wireless signal to the device in the blind spot, so that the device in the blind spot can talk to the device in the middle, and then the device in the middle relay the signal to the smart stations. So that's a very useful functions for more wireless coverage. But we don't recommend to use too many relays to set up too many relay devices in one systems, because the more relay devices you set, it will have much more delay in the smart stations. So you may find these relay devices, if you set 1 or 2 or 3, it should be fine. The performance should be okay. But if you set up like 10 or dozens of relay devices, you may find when you run some things or control the devices, the device systems will become slow. So this is, I think this is backup solutions when there is really a blind spot. You can use this relay management to cover that. Okay, let's check out more questions. If the master station is dead, will the substation support the function as master station? The first, we receive very rare cases about the station that apart from it is the power is dead, the power is dead. So to answer your questions, if the master station is dead, all the sub devices under the extension station will work as normal. But for devices here, the sub devices under master station, it will not work because they connect to the master station directly. Why is it that the relay management needs to be turned on by a technical team and not automatically upon purchase of smart station? Yeah, that's one. The reason for that is the thing I just talked about. Because if the end user enable too many relays, it will slow down the whole systems. That's why, because it's a double-sided blade, we think it is a good function, but it also has the disadvantage of it. So that's why we think it is not a function by default. You need to ask the staff to open this function when there's really a blind spot on site. And please give examples of relay devices. Okay, we have a list of relay devices that can. We have a list that a bunch of LifeSmart devices can be a relay device. We will send out this information after this training. And when you use a device as relay management, like a switch, can the switch still be used for its original purpose, or will only serve as a relay extended cost signal? It can still function as a smart switch. It can still function as the smart switch, as a switch, as its original functions. Okay, let's continue. So for smart stations, like I mentioned, after the smart stations, it is very important to check the wireless signals. So you need to go to the menu here in the app, in the engineer settings in the app, to test RSSI. RSSI is the signal is the signal menu, wireless signal menu. So this is for installers to test the signal strength. If some devices of the systems do not respond or have a severe delay, if the signal is really poor, then engineers need to check whether the environment has many interference. So we can see there are four columns here. The first is noise. The noise means the wireless interference around the devices. So as you can see here, the smart station here, it has 70 noise. The value of the noise is 70. So this is not very normal. It means the smart station will have some interference around it. So the standard is the noise should be below 50. And if the noise is 0, the smart station may have issue. So the ideal value for the noise for the smart station is above 0 and it should be below 50. And the signal strength should be above 100 for devices that has power supply, above 70 for battery-powered devices. So as you can see here, those two columns here, the second column here is the signal from the smart stations. And the third column here is the signals to smart stations. So for those two columns, the signal strength for device has power supply needs to be above 100. And for battery devices, we require it to be above 70. If you check the RSSI menu, if the order standard is the signal strength is abide by those standards, then we think you have accomplished a very stable systems So the wireless signal should be okay when users are using it. So that's a very useful functions for wireless products to test the RSSI to check whether the wireless signal is good. And the next is a backup and restore function. So this is for users who back their smart station's data just in case it goes down and need a replacement. So basically in the menu in the app, you will find a backup smart station menu. So the backup data will be stored in the app root directory. And if app is deleted from the phone, the back data will be deleted. So it is stored in your app. And the function of restore, so basically, this function just copy a config file from the smart station and back it up in your cell phone. So if the smart station is broken or missing, you need to replace a new smart station. You can import those backup files from your cell phone app to the smart stations, so you don't have to set up all the scenario modes, all the configs again. So for backup, we suggest our partners, our installers, once they finish installation, they back up those files into their cell phone. And also another function, useful function is batch installations. This function means that you can, if you are doing a real estate project, you are going to set up like 100 or dozens of or even hundreds of apartments with the same layout and with the same devices. You can pair all the devices one time and set them up one time, and you can back up the data and use batch installation mode to export all the devices and AR data from one smart station and import to another smart station that has the same applications, same use cases. So commonly it's used in projects like apartment buildings or hotels. They all have so many rooms, but they are all in same layout and they have the same. They are using the same LifeSmart products. You can use these functions. You just pair one systems, and after that you just need to copy and paste to other systems, to other smart stations. Okay, the last session is about FAQ. So I just list some of the frequently asked questions here. So I would like to emphasize the number 2. So error message pop up when adding the smart station with a new account. So some of the users may wonder, or some of you guys may wonder if the smart station is added to one account, can it be added to another account? So the answer is no. The first, if you want to add the smart station to another account, what you need to do is to unbind the smart station with the first account. You either go into the first account to unbind it, or contact us to unbind the smart station from our backend systems. So if a second account adding the smart station, it will pop up an error message that said this device is already being added. Then you can check. You can check. There's a button on the pop-up message called detail. If you click that detail, it will generate a QR code. So you can send that QR code to LifeSmart team to unbind the smart stations. That's the one I need to emphasize here. So if you are new to LifeSmart, sometimes you may wonder, you are wondering how to unbind the smart stations. Just click the detail button and generate the QR code and send it to us to unbind the smart stations. And the number 4, why is it offline after smart station is added? I mentioned this in the previous slides. So it will take sometimes it will take a few minutes to be online on your app. And if it is still not online, check whether the router network connection is normal and restart router and smart stations. And for some enterprise environment, they may have firewalls or whitelist in their router settings. We need to add the router. If you encounter this kind of problem, please contact our technical team. We will tell you how to set up the server IP address in the router settings or in the firewalls. And can the smart station set as a fixed IP address? So the smart station do not support fixed IP address by itself. It is using DHCP to get IP address automatically from the network. But if you want the IP address fixed, you can do reversely map by MAC address if the router supports it. So some of the high-end router support to bind the IP address to give a fixed IP address by MAC address. So if your router supports it, you can set the smart station as a fixed IP address. So that's basically our training today. Let's check if you guys have more questions here. Why is it that the cascading needs to be turned on by the technical team and not automatically upon purchase of the smart station? Yes, I think that what Ryan said is correct. And Ryan asked, why can they rename manage backups? Let's say one cell phone can manage multiple account backup of clients. I think the backup can be exported. If you already back up the configure files, and if you plug the cell phone into a computer, you can check the backup. You can copy the backup files to a computer. You can find the backup files under the folder for LifeSmart app in your cell phone. Will you share training files with us? Yes, for sure. We will share all the training material to you guys later after the training. And now we will have a quiz section. So I will copy paste this address here and send it in the group chat, in the chat room. So you guys can enter an online quiz. So we have 5 choice questions. Who answer 4 of them correctly can get a training completion certificate. And please enter your full name and email address correctly. We will match with the registration list to issue the certificate. So you need to register beforehand for this training and also finish the quiz, enter the name and the email address correctly. And if you answer 4 of them correctly, we will issue a certificate to your email address about the training completion. So let me copy this link to you guys. So I already sent the online quiz link in the group chat. Please open it and you can check there a few questions. So the deadline is one hour after the training. So if you finish finish the quiz 1 hour after the within 1 hour of the training, and we will check the answers and issue certificate. So let me check. The link does not work. Can any one of you guys can open the link? Can any one of you guys open the link? Because I can open the link here. It is using a Google spreadsheet. So you need to have access to Google to open that online quiz. So the first question is, in which place you cannot put the smart station? And second, what protocol does LifeSmart Smart Station support? And the third one, what are the features of COS protocol? And the next one is, why is gateway needed in smart home systems? And the last one, what gateway is suitable for an apartment, like on the right? If only one piece of smart station is required, what's the best gateway in this solution? Okay, guys, if you have any further questions, please let me know. So today's content is to here, so it's the end. So if you have any questions, please let me hear. And you can finish the quiz. You can finish the quiz later today, just within 1 hour after the training ended. Ryan, I've checked your questions here. I'm not sure what kind of delay you are talking. I'm not sure what kind of things caused that delay. Please contact your corresponding support. We are happy to check what's causing the delay in that system. All right, guys. If there's no further questions, let's call it a day. Thank you very much for attending today's training, and please stay tuned for next training. We will post the updates in LinkedIn and Facebook and also Instagram. Please stay tuned for those social media channels, and our sales managers will also send out the next training information to you guys later. So thank you guys for attending today's training. Bye-bye. Have a good day.